Rock bottom basics which a second year or a first year or any medical graduate has to know and learn before even trying to start to love pathology. Know the exact parts, what they function. Because yes, it can come as an exam question. Yes, it can come as a viva question. Most of your colleges must have had single or uniocular microscope. It is adjustable. My intercanthal distance is not actually equal to yours. When you will stop is when you can see a decently focused image, you stop that. Hey guys, welcome back to PW Meded once again. So we thought that let's go to the rock bottom basics which a second year or a first year or any medical graduate has to know and learn before even trying to start to love pathology. That's the tool of us, that's Microscope. The biggest fear is before even trying to identify the pink and blue, which is obviously a nightmare, is to adjust the microscope, know the exact parts, what they function. Because yes, it can come as an exam question. Yes, it can come as a viva question, but the most important thing is, unless and until you know the microscope, it's very difficult for us to make sure you understand the pathology behind it, right? The first problem is, if you're in a first year, most of your colleges must have had single or uniocular microscope. There'll be only one eyepiece. Whenever you come to pathology, microbiology, you'll have two eyepieces, binocular microscope. If you had a uniocular microscope, what you generally used to do is close one eye and peep in one eye, that's all. But a binocular microscope, you still keep doing that, your heads will ache. 5 minutes into the practicals, you'll start having headache. I am sure most of you must have experienced that. To get rid of that, there's a very simple and an easy technique. So what you do is, this eyepiece, there are two things here, binocular eyepiece, and this, if it's adjusted properly, you will not have two visions, you'll have only one field of vision, so your headache will automatically go away, right? So first, spread it wide apart, right? The reason why it is adjustable is, my intercanthal distance is not actually equal to yours. Everyone has a different framework of the body and different intercanthal distance, right? So what we do is, you push them far away as possible, put both the eyes into the eyepiece, you will see two images. Then gradually bring them close together. Gradually bring them close together. You put farther apart first, put both your eyes, you will see two images, gradually bring them close together. At one point, you will see one image. That is your intercanthal distance. That's the first and the most important step before even looking into a slide into microscope. You will not have a headache, you will not have a tension. Let pathology alone cause a headache, not the microscopic slide here, right? So that's the first part, and we call this an eyepiece, right? So eyepiece is a lens. It has a 10x objective, which 10x means it can multiply or zoom 10 times, that's all. You must have used to iPhone and Android zooms, right? It can multiply 10 times, much better than your zoom. Maybe it can also take the picture of a moon if possible, right? So this light, then I have one more set of lens here. We call this objective lens. This is an eyepiece, this is objective lens. If you look at objective, almost every objective is universally same color coded. Red for a scanner view, yellow for a 10x, blue for a 40x or a hyper view, and white for an oil immersion. You must have used oil immersion at the earlier phase of the career, right? So I have four things here. So if you look at everything, it's written 40 times, 10x, 10 times, 100x, 100 times. So what will be the magnification, what I'll get finally? It's simple, 10 into 40. So the final out will be 400 times magnified. 10 into 100 in oil immersion. So the final output will be 1000 times magnified. So you might have a difference when you look at books, it will be written 1000 times magnification. There is no 1000 written here, only 100 because it's multiplied here. I have a 10x here, I have 100x here, so it's multiplied to 1000x magnification. I have 40 here, I have a 10 here, multiplied to give 400 times magnification, right? So if you have been in the latter half of pathology, we tend to count mitosis. Mitosis is generally counted at 40x magnification or the high power field. HPF or high power field mentioned in pathology, I mentioned this lens, the blue color lens, right? Now we know how the objective works, how the eyepiece works. Let's go into the details of a microscope, starting from the very beginning. Let's say it's switched off. This is the light source, it's off. You might see two types of microscopes. If you're in the first year, you might have a mirror to get the natural light and to reflect onto it. Nowadays, we don't have that mirrored or natural light microscope. Everything is artificially powered, LED or an yellow bulb. That's what being used to power microscopes. You switch on it, the light source is on, and the light source has intensities. Same like your brightness of your mobile. Some might like it wonderfully bright, some might want to have it very dim. So I have an adjustment here. Just carefully notice this. It becomes brighter, it becomes dull. It's not that this is the right way to look at it. Whatever you feel comfortable, whatever does not irritate your eye much, just based on that, either increase it or reduce it. Some of them might want it very, very bright. If you feel that you have good amount of headache when you have a very bright light, reduce it. That doesn't matter, right? So this light source gives the light. which has to be focused onto the slide, right? Because if I have a torch looking at an entire room, but I want to only focus on one area of the room, so I have to focus there. So how do I focus where? The condenser comes to play. The entire light which is parallel here will be focused onto this light. So what it does is, if you can carefully look into the slide, okay, I'll just move the slide a little bit to you. If you can carefully look into the slide, you can see a source. I'm just going to change the condenser. Can you see it's becoming smaller? Much smaller, focused, bigger, smaller, bigger. The reason of the condenser is, I have tiny biopsies of the brain, very small. I have to condense it so that entire light falls on the specimen. Or have a gastrectomy specimen where I have this big slides, right? So it goes to the entire slide, right? So this is just to focus. Like I gave an example, it's not the entire room I am focused at. I don't want to look at the entire part of the slide. I want to look at one particular area. I can move it accordingly, right? On top of this, there is a possibility to put filters. You may have read about amyloid, apple green birefringence. I can add a polarizer here. So that gives a polarized effect. Right? There are multiple filters available. One thing which you know is apple green birefringence of amyloid. I can put a filter here easily, right? So next comes the stage. The stage is where we keep the slides. There's a clip, you put the slide, you close it. And I have to move according to the lens. You have adjustments here which can move it horizontally as well as vertically. So accordingly, wherever the tissue is, I can make sure it's staged. And if you carefully look, it will be written here, adjustments, 40, 50, 60 and everything. So these adjustments are primarily used for depth of invasion. How long the tumor is, I can use that, right? 2 centimeter, 1 centimeter. T&M staging, it helps me crudely to give an assessment, okay, this is the length of the tumor here, fine. Then once you put into it, you just focus there. Next comes your adjustment. Because once you put the slide here, generally to put a slide, we have to lower the stage. We lower the stage generally, take the slide, insert it, clip it, and these are gross adjustments. You can see a big screw here, so that has to just go up. When you will stop is, when you can see a decently focused image, you stop that. This cannot fine tune, this is gross adjustment. After that, you have one more screw. In some of the microscope, both the screw will be fit in the same place. Here, I use it for fine adjustments to make it much more clear, right? So gross adjustments, this is for fine adjustments, right? That's all regarding a binocular microscope. I hope you will start seeing more images into the microscope and love the science behind pink and blue, which forms the basics of medical science understanding. If you have any queries regarding microscope, or if you're still feeling some trouble to identify things in your lab, comment below, let's discuss about it. See you soon, till then, bye-bye.